Welcome back. So now that we actually have the ID here, meaning that our web API now knows how to get an HTTP request, unwrap the parameter, and add it down here. We know that we now have an ID that we can start looking for inside our current setup. Now we are going to try and actually start with figuring out how we can get the read by ID from the service. Now first of all, if everything goes well, I just want to return an OK. And in there, what I want to do is I just want to say service.read by ID. Now notice that is not available yet, so I have to make it read by ID. This is inside the interface first. I'll pass in the ID. Now notice again, the service right now is actually an interface, a video service, iVideo service interface. So we need to first of all implement it right there. So I'll add this new method by Alt-Enter or Option-Enter. I'll create this new method right here. I wanted to return a video right here instead of just an object, and that's step one. Now we have the video available right here. Now step two is to figure out, as soon as I make this inside the interface, of course my application will break, the code will break, because somebody is using this contract, this interface, in an implementation class. And right now they don't know this new method I just made, so they have to get it into the implementation class. And you'll see in my code base that right over here in the service, if I expand it, the video service is now failing. And the reason is, if I press Alt-Enter again, you can also press the small lamp, it says implement the missing members, so you can call yourself an iVideo service again. So I'll do that, I'll implement missing members. There we go, now we have the read by ID right here. And for now, let's just keep it simple and just say, let's just return, return, and I'll do an underscore repo because I want the repository to find the video. That's my connection to the data source, right, to the database. So I'll say find by ID, just to keep the same naming there, like I do with find all. And I'll pass in the ID that I want to find, and let's actually create this in the repo. And again, the repository is also just an interface in the beginning. So because of the clean architecture, you're being forced to use the layers, and also you're being forced to use the interfaces in the different layers. So what we'll do again, we'll press Alt-Enter, kaboomy. We have this new one right here, returning a video, find by ID, passing in an int ID in order to get that specific video in the repository. And now you already learned a little bit about interfaces, so you might already know that since I did this, I probably have some broken code somewhere because somebody who's using the iVideo repository doesn't know this new method. And you're right. Down here in the infrastructure layer, we have a repository now saying, you need to implement that. So in order to call myself the iVideo repository, I need to implement that method. So I'll do implement missing members, gashumi gaboink. We have a find by ID down here now. And now let's use a bit of magic in order to return that specific video right there. So I'll say, I know the video must be inside my videos table. So I'll do a first or default, and that's actually link. And we'll talk more about link later, but I'll do an import right here with first or default. By the way, if you're using Visual Studio, you might have to manually import a package called link in order to make this work. This package right here, you might need to import that. So if it doesn't work for you, go and check out if you have to import that link right there. So what I'll do here is I'll say if the video, that's V for video, I could also write video to be more precise, if the video.id right here matches the ID I'm looking for, happy days, I found my video. So it'll fail right now if I mouse over. It's of course because right now what I'm trying to return in my table, again, you have to remember that I tried to make this as close to a real relational database. Inside my table, you'll notice it's actually video entities, not videos, it's video entities. And down here, if we scroll down, it says, I want to return a video, but right now it's saying, I'm going to return a video entity. So let's actually just make it a two-liner to make it easier to read right here. I'll do a var entity, like this, and that's the entity I'm getting back. And then I'll just use the converter we built to convert an entity into a video, right? And if you don't know the converter yet, just go and read the code. It's very easy. I just take a video entity, I pass that in, I convert it into a video and return it as a video. And the same down here, I could convert a video into an entity and return it if I needed to update or somehow change a video. Sweet. So that's all I had to do. And again, notice each layer had its own responsibility. We right now had the controller layer. The responsibility was to figure out how to get that HTTP request converted and then send a good response. The service layer's job right now was just to redirect to a repository, but later we'll do validation right here. We'll do exception handling right here. We will figure out if the ID is okay, if we even need to call the database, because if there's a negative ID out right here, I wouldn't even call the database. But that's for testing later. We'll actually go further. We'll say, repo, your job is to find the actual video for me and even convert it for me into a video so I get exactly that video object that I want from you. So that's all the steps you had to do. Now the controller should actually work. We return an action result. It's okay with the read by ID. Let's just try and restart the server. Jumping into our setup right here, I'll just do a refresh. We'll have to just create a video quickly. Let's try it out. Let's build a video. And notice right now it's kind of annoying that it has all these weird default values I don't want. But let's just keep it like this for now. We'll execute, create a couple of videos right here, execute. There we go. Now we have 9 videos. And I'll just hide this. I'll go down to the video with the ID right here. And let's just try video 2. I know there's a video 2 in there. I'll do an execute and boom. Here's the URL, here's the video I just found myself. Woohoo! Let's do a video 4. I'll do an execute and boom, I have video 4. Everything is working, so we're happy, and that was actually how easy it is again to do this GetById. Now there is more in the different layers. Now there's more in the different layers we can talk about, but let's just keep it simple for now, and next video we'll have some more fun with these different setups right here. So see you next time, bye.